What is it, Kingston?
This looks like a weapon to kill alligators, or it could be a weapon to for cops to kill bad guys.
Or black people.
Yeah.
Be careful of your hatred speech. It's corruption of the soul. And hate is a dangerous lesson to teach, because hate always needs a place to go. So when you speak of murder, like its behaviors you condone, remember the first fire that he lights will burn inside your home.
So this happened, and this happens, but of course, RAY-CISSM is not a thing anymore. But quite frankly, at the moment, I'm not exactly sure what I should be focusing on. The fact that she is teaching her child how to be a RAY-CISSM, or the fact that she recorded this, thought it was okay, and then posted it. At this point, nobody can convince me otherwise. They're asking for it. Because it's one thing to be a RAY-CISSM. It's another thing to teach your kids how to be a RAY-CISSM, because you know you want to keep the RAY-CISSM in the family alive and thriving, because you know it's something to be proud of. But it is another thing entirely to let us, the public, know, especially when we did not ask, that this is the kind of person that you are and this is what you are teaching your kid. As a parent, this is the attributes you want your kids to have. Teaching him hate at such a young age, like it's a nice characteristic to have. You know that saying, train up your child in the way he should go so that when he is grown, he would not depart from it. This is the path you want your child not to depart from. The path of RAY-CISSM. This happens in their households, and that is why RAY-CISSM is still alive and thriving. But when these folks come out, they will tell us that the reason why RAY-CISSM is still alive and thriving is because we keep talking about it. They do this and wonder why black people and people of color don't trust them.
I don't know, maybe when your default is, maybe people will be wary of you. You act like this distrust comes from nowhere. Like, black women and indigenous women are not constantly going missing. Like, police brutality doesn't exist. Like, let's take last year, for example. A white woman went to a club, and the truth of a black woman in a club, in a public setting, guess what? She's getting a $5,000 bill release. Be so fucking for real. When you're literally told to your face as a black person walking in a grocery store that the town you're living in is a sundown town. The fact that a sundown town exists in the first place, the fact that you guys need movements and protests and outcries from black people and indigenous people and POC in general for you to take our suffering seriously, for you to realize that we are treated inhumanely in society. The fact that the system still oppresses us. The fact that if it wasn't for this protest and movement, God knows where we would be. The fact that the prime minister of this country did blackface in a turban. Be so fucking for real now. My prejudice literally saves my life. At any given moment, I could literally become a hashtag. God forbid. But that is my reality. I could go missing. I could be kidnapped. I could be a victim of a serial killer. I could be brutally beaten to death with a pipe, like the police did to a 19-year-old guy, and he lost his eyesight. I could be having a crisis with my health as a black woman and go to the hospital and not be taken seriously. The system we're living in is built on racism and people getting away with racism. And your white fragility is seeping through, because nobody says every white person is bad. I just said I do not trust white people, and I have every reason not to.
That last statement right there, and I am never going to be apologetic about it, because not only did history happen showing us that we cannot trust these folks, and even in 2023 here gone, we still see how these folks roll. Hell, this video is about a white mother teaching her son how to be a RAY-CISSM, so let's be for real. And you guys won't believe her apology video. Check it out.
I've been debating on how I'm going to respond to this, and I just wanted to first apologize for the way that that video was perceived, and that was never my intent. My intent was to teach him about police brutality and how people of color are disproportionately killed by police. And I know that me coming on here and apologizing isn't going to make it go away or make people hate me less. or anything like that. And I'm not expecting that because it was an honest mistake. And I didn't have the intent of harming others when I made it. And the reason I deleted it is because people were offended by it.
Share this one, they whine us, like, do you guys believe this?
But I also want to say that people attacking others that simply know me from school or because they saw me once walking down the street isn't okay, and they didn't do anything, so they don't deserve that. But if you want to continue to do the things you're doing towards me, then that's fine, because I made a mistake and I'm gonna have to live with that, but no one else in my life should have to live with a mistake that I've made. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I didn't mean it in a hateful way, just have a terrible way of getting messages across, I guess. And I am sorry for the video.
And as a member of the Black community, I do not accept.
She was trying to teach about police brutality. No, be for real. She must think that we are slow or something. Like we heard the conversation. Kid in a room holding a weapon, talking about how he intends to use the weapon to kill alligators. Now, alligators are something that we fear. We consider them to be dangerous, right? And then this kid went on to say that he's going to hand this weapon over to the police so they can use the weapon to kill bad guys, right? And then the mother chipped in very casually, like Black people. Note earlier, this kid was talking about alligators, danger. Bad people, danger. Now this mother is talking about like Black people. Now this mother is tying in this young boy's head that Black people are synonymous to danger. So the police can use this weapon on Black people because Black people are bad people and they are dangerous. That was the conversation. That was the message that was passed. So how exactly was this supposed to be a teachable moment where this kid learns about police brutality? And why exactly should such a young child be learning about police brutality? Who is falling for this? Oh yeah, she is. Of course, a white lady. Give me a break.
I don't know the mother's intentions, nor do I care. Police brutality is not a joke. It is not a fun fact that you blurt out at your 3-year-old. And then you chuckled, sending mixed signals to his very young, confused brain. This is not okay. If this is how y'all are going to ally, we don't need the allyship. We don't need it.
Is very much alive, and it's very much taught, like we just saw. As a mother, I can't fucking imagine teaching my children that. White women, when the are we gonna do better for our children? This bitch has me so fucked up. To the Black community, I'm sorry.
I'm stitching this video not primarily to blame the child, because obviously the child is a product of his environment and that environment is trash. I'm stitching the video to let y'all know that we don't exaggerate. We don't make these things up. Like y'all be like, oh, it's so long ago. Slavery was so long ago. Meanwhile, there are white people still raising their little brats with the imagination or the thinking that they are superior only because they are white. I don't even want to talk about how this is simply wrong and all the bullshit. We know it's wrong. It's nothing new, okay? White people have been doing this for hundreds of years. I'm not surprised. I just want you to know that while you're raising yours to be this way, we are raising ours to know right from time. Like, not only will I teach my children to beat the living daylight out of yours, I will also beat the living daylight out of you. Enough is enough. So